Jason Whitlock and Dave Portnoy are beefing once again. And this comes on the heels of Dave Portnoy going on Shannon Sharpe's podcast and YouTube show, Club Shay Shay, because Shannon Sharpe is away from ESPN. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, the hell was that? Check out our clips on demand covering what is going on with Shannon Sharpe. Now, Portnoy would state to Shannon Sharpe, and I quote, of Whitlock, he's a clown. Jason Whitlock's a clown. Jason Whitlock is on the record as being, I love Dave Portnoy. Dave Portnoy is the best. He's this. Jason Whitlock is a click-chasing clown. To be clear, the two do not like each other.
Dave Portnoy, El Presidente, is a fraud. He has no core values, no defined set of beliefs. He has no redeeming qualities other than his wealth. Remove his money, and he wouldn't have a friend in this world. If we weren't living in an era completely hostile to masculinity, Portnoy would be broke in Boston delivering pizza. The prohibition of masculinity is what made heroes and millionaires of men like Portnoy and TikTok influencer Andrew Tate.
And to Portnoy's point, which I had to go look up, is it true? The answer is yes. Take a look at this.
And whatever kind of deal Barstool ends up signing with Travis Hunter just goes to speak to how disruptive Dave Portnoy and Barstool Sports have been. Dave Portnoy, the founder of Barstool Sports, is he the most important person in sports right now? And I know that Dion has denied that Barstool Sports is paying this Travis Hunter kid to go to Jackson State, that they, signed some NIL deal with Travis Hunter. But I got to say, Dave Portnoy and Barstool, they're the most disruptive thing I think we've seen in the sports world since Colin Kaepernick, and maybe more disruptive than Colin Kaepernick. Dave Portnoy and the fact that Deion Sanders left the NFL Network, corporate media, to go work at Barstool, and that Barstool is supporting Deion and his efforts at Jackson State, and whatever kind of deal Barstool ends up signing with Travis Hunter just goes to speak to how disruptive Dave Portnoy and Barstool Sports have been and continue to be. He's actually disrupting things. He's shaking the apple cart. Obviously, Dave Portnoy, what he built at Barstool Sports, inspired me.
Portnoy would tweet above that video in August of 2022. By the way, Jason Whitlock, you forgot to delete this one when you almost choked to death on my privates. Thus, Portnoy would continue ripping Whitlock. He's gotten me a couple times to his credit, but he's just fishing for engagement. He's taking his little poll. He's like, maybe I'll buy it and I'll get some clicks. I try to ignore it. I tell people, actually, don't send me bad stuff about me because I have a hard time ignoring it. I don't even know. I don't even want to know it exists. Excuse me. He'd go on to say, my Achilles heel, and this is obviously true, I don't give a blank. It's like, I know I'm being played here. I know he is getting clicks, but this guy, he is a clown. Of course, Whitlock could not resist in responding.
Shannon thinks I'm jealous of him. Shannon thinks that I'm bothered that he's a former professional athlete and he's having all of this legacy media and podcast media's success, and he thinks I'm jealous of it. Just say that. Just say that would be authentic. And then Dave Portnoy could have come in and said, yeah, that guy, if he wasn't such an idiot, he could have been making so much money. He could have been doing this or that at ESPN and Fox Sports, but he's such an idiot and he's so stubborn and so stupid, if he wanted to say that he hasn't built a Barstool Sports. He doesn't have a club show. They could have had that conversation. That would have been authentic. but they're not authentic. And that's my problem with them. I also think the guy's a sexual degenerate. I also think that the guy has this attraction to really young women that has gotten him into some trouble. I think he's defended Joy Taylor and other things that swerve into sexual immorality because that sexual immorality is important to his identity. And so I've said that. I think that Dave Portnoy has no foundational base. There's no set of values that he's really committed to other than the pursuit of money and the pursuit of sexual pleasure. And so that's why Dave Portnoy will one day jump on and say he hates Donald Trump and how dare he put a Supreme Court in that overturns Roe v. Wade. And so now I got to walk away and the Republicans have gone too far. He's on video saying this stuff. And it's like, well, hold on. Why is he so upset about the overturn of Roe v. Wade? Because he's a sexual degenerate that likes to use money and possibly has paid women to abort babies. And he doesn't want anything impeding that. That's a value he respects. Child murder is a value that Dave Portnoy respects. And I'm going to go one step further here and potentially get myself into trouble. But Dave Portnoy and I, we have never met. I called Dave Portnoy one time years ago. I think it was when they did something at ESPN, the Barstool Vans. They did some show with ESPN, and it only lasted one day. And then they got booted off ESPN. And I reached out to Dave Portnoy. This is when I was at Speak for Yourself. And I was like, hey, man, would love to have you and your guys on Speak for Yourself if you're looking for an outlet to be on corporate TV or whatever. Reached out to him. And Dave Portnoy talked to me like, I can't believe you're wasting my time calling me. He talked to me in a very condescending, dismissive way. And this is the first time I've ever said anything about it because people have a right to be condescending and dismissive and cold if they want to. They have that right. I wasn't terribly offended, but it was noted. And it was noted like, well, damn, I'm just calling up, being friendly, making a proposition to the guy. And he was cold and dismissive to me. No problem. But I have been treated that way by a certain demographic, belongs to a certain tribe before.
Let me be clear about something. First off, the murdering of babies, say something about the kids in Gaza. Yeah, but secondly, talking about being pro-life, when Tyree Nichols was killed, you blamed single black mothers. Who are you to say anything about protecting life? You're bottom barrel. You are trash. And by the way, that last comment that he made, it's about Jewish people. It's about Jewish people. That's what he's doing. Dave, his politics and I, we differ completely. But when Jewish people talk to one another, we ask, oh, are they MOT? It means member of tribe. I know what you're doing. I see what you're doing. You are scum of the earth, Jason. Scum of the earth. And I'm not defending Dave Portnoy. I think he hit on some points where he said, you are a clickbaiting fool. You do all of this for engagement. All of it. And like Portnoy to some extent, I am feeding the troll when I shouldn't. But if we allow this to go unchecked, then that's an indictment on all of us. Shame on you right there. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.